Are your stitching lines not coming out as straight as you'd like? Let's add a ruler to that. Welcome to Handi Quilter Watch and Learn. I'm Kim Sandberg and
I'm Kristina Whitney.
And today we're going to show you the straight and true way to get straight lines on your quilting. So we have a plethora of rulers to help you get that straight line on your quilt that you want. Because it is, unless if you're using a channel lock, it's pretty hard to get a perfectly straight line on a quilt, isn't it, Kristina?
We should have a challenge. Let's see which one of us can do a diagonal line without a ruler and make it straight.
You won.
It's not going to happen.
No, it's not.
I can't do it. No.
It's not. It's not.
No.
So luckily we've got a lot of great rulers to help us out. So let's go through the lineup that we've got here. So the first one we've got is what we call the ditch ruler. And as the name would imply, this one's really great for stitching the ditch, isn't it?
It is. Yep, and we'll show that in a moment.
This next one, it doesn't sound like it's a straight line ruler, but it has on one side, it's called the mini scallop. And it does have a scalloped edge on one side, but the other side is a straight line. So we're going to give you some tips on that one. Next, we've got the skinny ruler. And this one, I know that for me, this is probably my go-to ruler. I love this ruler. I use it a lot. It's got a lot of great markings on it. So you can do things at different angles, do a lot of fun things like that.
Yep.
And then there is the straight edge ruler, which is the big daddy of them all, isn't it?
It is definitely the largest of the straight rulers. Yep. So.
Yep. So let's take a look.
Okay.
You've got some set aside here, pulled out of packaging, so we can have a little fun quilting with them, right?
Yes. So I pulled out the ditch ruler and the mini scallop. Okay. And the reason I pulled these out is because I want to show you how you can use the parts of the ruler to achieve what you're going for.
Okay.
So for stitching the ditch, I've got a line right here. We're going to pretend like that is my seam line.
Okay.
And you'll notice on this ruler, it's got these little bumpers on both ends. Mm-hmm. The edge of the bumper is your 1/4 inch, which you're going to line up right on that seam. And then the foot will fit down in here and it's going to stitch along that seam.
Okay.
So let's bring the machine over. And I always like to bring up my bobbin thread, get my machine in position before I put the ruler in place.
Right.
Okay. So I'm bumping the ruler up against my foot, taking this end over here, making sure it's lined up right on there, and then I can stitch along in my ditch. If my ditch is longer, I can pause the machine and adjust the ruler over, again, lining up the next end and continuing on.
It's kind of like having training wheels on it, isn't it?
It is, and they're really great. So another benefit to this ditch ruler is you might notice there's a little bit of a curve on this side. Mm-hmm. So if you're doing some curves and some straight lines together, this one you can kind of adjust it to which side you need to use. Okay? And there's also markings on here, and we'll talk about those markings here in a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, so another ruler that I like to use for stitching the ditch is this mini scallop. Mm-hmm. I'm going to turn it upside down, and again you'll see we've got these bumpers here. Now these bumpers are a little bit different because this one is actually 1/2 inch tall.
Okay.
So you need to do these dotted lines right there. That is what you're going to line up on your seam line.
Okay. Okay. That's good to understand the difference between the two so that you are getting the result you want when you're stitching.
Yep. And this one's fun because it's got the little mini scallop also. Mm-hmm. Okay. So we also have the skinny ruler. Mm-hmm. And this is a really fun one. It's got lots of markings on it. But let me show you a quick video showing how you can use the skinny ruler just for kind of like outlining things. Mm-hmm. This is an stencil that I did and it was already marked, and so I just used the ruler lining it up with the markings on the quilt. kind of fun. But I also want to play with these different markings on here.
Okay.
Okay, so right now I've got this straight line that I already stitched. If I were to bump my machine up just a little bit, if I line the edge of this ruler up right on that seam line or the stitch line, I'm going to get a 1/4 inch echo there.
Okay.
Noticing that I am going to pause, readjust my hand positioning, and continue along. Okay, so that's a 1/4 inch.
Okay.
I can change the spacing by choosing different lines here. So if I wanted to do like a 3/4 inch, I find the line that says 3/4 inch, line it up on my stitch line. Beautiful.
Wonderful.
Okay, so let's take a look at this quilt here for a second.
Okay.
So this one is done all with rulers and just
Wow.
using those markings to get the different spacings. So that's really fun. So here's a quick video showing that. So let's play with some of these other lines. These angled lines, if I line those up, let's see, I'm going to do the 60. I'm going to line that up on my seam line there, or my stitch line, and I can stitch up to kind of create that
Get that
line
angle.
there. Yep. So I'm going to stitch across here. And then if I'm going from left to right, if I'm holding the ruler on the left-hand side, that's going to be a little bit easier for me to be able to use my markings for spacing. So I can shift that over. Let's see, which marking was I using? That one.
This is nice if you wanted to do like a angled crosshatch or angled piano keys.
Yes.
Those markings make it a snap, don't they?
They do. And it's got the 45 degree and the 60 degree all on there. I really like the skinny because of the size. It fits my hand, but yet it's still long so that I can cover more distance and I'm not having to adjust it quite as often.
Right.
Okay, the last one that we've got here is the straight edge. And this one has the 45 degrees and it also has the markings here.
Nice.
Okay, so I am going to grab my pencil and I'm going to draw a little dot right there, a little dot right there, and a little dot right there, and over here. So I'm going to pretend like I'm working in a triangle here.
Okay.
Okay, so I can use the ruler. Again, the edge is 1/4 of an inch away from where I'm aiming for. Flip it around to get to the other side. And I'm going to come back to this second dot here. And this is where it gets tricky for people, eyeballing that 1/4 inch. Now on this one, I want to come all the way back to that original point.
Right.
So I'm going to offset it just a little by that 1/4 inch. Okay, rotating it up to the next dot. And last side.
Look at that.
So that's a fun thing that you can do in a border, in a triangle, wherever you want. Now let's show our viewers a couple of other ideas that are on the back of the packaging.
Okay. Here are some ideas from the back side of the ditch ruler. And I love this because you can incorporate that curve that's there on the end of it, and you can see there stitching, doing a little bit of continuous curve, having some fun there.
Yep. And we can also show them where we've used straight rulers on the quilt behind us.
Exactly. There's some
So-
ideas on the straight edge.
Straight
ruler.
edge. Yep.
And then
Okay.
yes, up here.
So right along here, you can see I used the rulers and I did different spacing to create the different look there.
The piano keys. That's really great.
Yep.
It's fun. Fun to add some precision with some straight lines on your next quilting project. We've definitely got all the right tools to do that. If you'd like to have one of your quilts featured at the end of one of our videos, be sure to tag us at Handi Quilter in any social media post. We want to say thanks so much for watching. Be sure to give us a like and subscribe, and have fun quilting.